shot. So this meeting is being live streamed. Got it. And now it's preparing, setting up a meeting for YouTube Live. So we normally don't give away our classes, but so now I'm redirected onto YouTube. This meeting is being live streamed. Got it. And now it's preparing, setting up a meeting for YouTube Live. So we normally don't give away our classes, but so now I'm redirected onto YouTube. This meeting is being live streamed. Got it. And now it's preparing, setting up a meeting for YouTube Live. So we normally don't give away our classes, but okay. So
there's some weird loop.
Yeah. It's I'm still streaming on this, but now we are streaming on YouTube Live. So
there's a delay.
Yeah, there's a delay. So anyway, so for everyone on YouTube Live, we normally don't stream our classes on YouTube. My name is Sensei Mitch. I'm with New York Budo Association. We're a not-for-profit Japanese sword school here in New York City. And we teach Rushin Shochi-ryu, Kikutsu, and Iaido. We do teach online. You can train with us on patreon.com/NYBA. We have lots of different tiers. So this is an example of one of our classes. And, we like to have fun and, we have lots of different levels. So we hope you guys can join us at some point and train with us. If you have any questions, like I said, please check out our website. You can look at all of our social media links and you can contact us that way and we'll get back to you as soon as we can. This is one of our Sunday classes and we're going to get going pretty soon. I'm going to spotlight myself now. So let's let everybody in. I'm going to shut the waiting room off so people can just come in on their own. That way no one has to let anybody in anymore. Fantastic. So once again, my name is Mitch Ratchik Sensei. I'm with New York Budo Association, and we study Rushin Shochi-ryu, Kenjutsu, and Iai. Please do not use a real sword. These are Iaito. They're fake. They look real, but they're fake, just for safety measures and safety precautions. So safety is always our number one concern. We want to make sure everyone can practice and not injure themselves. So let's get started. We're going to ray in. I shut the waiting room off so everyone can come in. David, if you'd be so kind as to call in the ray shiki.
Right.
And hold on a second. Let me just lower the camera down a little bit more.
Shomini, great. Sensei, great. Otegani, great. Onegashimasu. Tony, right?
So let's put our swords to the side for a second, and let's begin with some just very quick in-and-yo exercises. So this is something that if you were able to attend Yahage Sensei's class this past weekend, I strongly suggest that if you can. Thank you, David. I should agree to that, so that goes off my screen. Okay, so we just rayed in. So I was about to say, we're gonna do some warm-up exercises. Yahage Sensei went over a very interesting exercise this weekend. This is just another little comment. If you guys can attend Yahage Sensei's classes, I strongly suggest it. We normally used to only see him one time a year maybe for 2 weeks at a time. And then if you saw him at seminar, maybe for 2 days. That was it, unless you traveled to Japan. So now Sensei is teaching 1 time a month, every single month, online, and it's an hour and a half. Sometimes he talks a little more, sometimes he demonstrates, sometimes we practice. So he mixes it up, but it's more access to him, which is fantastic. So I can't stress it enough. Try to make those classes if you can. You always get something out of it. So this week he went over just a very simple but interesting exercise with Tandan and with breathing. So we're going to try this all together for those of you who missed it. And David, you can jump in as well if I'm doing this wrong in any way, shape, or form. So the idea is that Tandan is that lower abdominal breathing. You're creating that balloon of air. And so we have a position in Rushin called in position, where you are collapsing your body, and yo position, where you're opening your body. So in, yo, right? You are collapsing, and you don't want to hunch your shoulders. So when I'm doing this, I'll move a little close to the camera. You're not just hunching your shoulders and opening and pulling back, but you're elongating your spine. You're allowing your chest to collapse. So in position, yo position, and allowing your body to flex from that center line. So Tandan is that lower abdominal breathing. And what we want you to do is you're going to sit in Seiza. So if everyone can just sit in Seiza for a second. I'll back up a little bit so you can see my body a little better. Okay, so we're sitting in Seiza. I want you to inhale through your nose, and as you exhale, allow your body to go into in and try to create that lower breath here. Breathing out. In position. Yo position. In position. Yo position. So that's the first one. The first one is just going into in and yo and keeping that ball of air. The second one is you're inhaling, and as you exhale, you're going to consistently exhale, going back and forth. So let's try the second one now. Fantastic. So that's just letting your body collapse and expand. So I need to work on that one personally and figure out how a better way to kind of teach it, but that's what we kind of worked over on the weekend. And there is a written statement as well, which I believe my friend Yoshi is translating a little better than Google Translate. So when we have that, we will be sharing that with you guys as our patrons as well and our members. So let's begin with very, very simple. Again, we just did it in yo exercise. Let's do what we call prayer exercise. So again, in position, yo position. So this exercise, I want you to put your hands together like this, like a prayer position. You're going to inhale through your nose, and as you exhale, you're going to bring your arms together like this, which is an in position. Your arms are going to go all the way behind your head. This is still in position. Open your chest, yo position. Keep your hands along your sides, right? Almost like if you were doing a push-up, right? And you're going to rotate your hands upside down. And then you're going to step with the right foot forward, and you're going to push into proper tenuch, proper grip, or you can go right hand over left hand. So let's do that 5 times. Here we go. Each. Ni. Sam. She. Go. Fantastic, really good. Now we're going to do what we call wall hip exercise. I don't have a wall here that I want to do it, but you can do it freestanding, just keeping your hands up. So again, we study a system called Rushin Shochi Ryu. It is off the Jigen line. Family is under Katori Shinto Ryu. So that's where the lineage comes from. It's a quick draw system, and we do not use what's called Sayabiki. So a lot of other practitioners are saying, what is this in and yo stuff, and what is all this stuff? We don't use Sayabiki, and Sayabiki is when you have the sai, which is the sheath of the sword, and you're pulling the sword around your body. It's like a big violin motion, and when you put it away, it's another violin motion. We don't do that. We use our hips to pull our hips back and forth. So this is one of the exercises we do to kind of help that. So with this exercise, I'm going to move my sword back over a little bit further. So with this exercise, you're going to stand shoulder width apart. I'll pick up my hakama just so you can see my feet a little bit better. So your feet are shoulder width apart. You're going to step straight back like a railroad track, and try to keep your feet pointed forward, or at least facing forward. You don't want your back foot to turn out. So you're also going to bend your right knee. So once I step like this, I'm going to bend my right knee over my big toe. So when I bend my right knee, I can't see my big toe. Your back foot should not be flat on the floor, but should be slightly up, almost like you're about to take off running, or a leaf or a piece of paper could slip underneath the back heel. So my weight is forward, my knee is over my big toe. And right now, what you're going to do is you're going to pull your hips straight back, almost pretend like, you know, those little kindergarten chairs. There's a little chair you're going to sit down right behind you. And you're going to straighten your left leg all the way down and all the way back up again. Okay. And when you do this, and it's easy for me because I'm looking at myself in a screen or in a mirror, I can see if I'm moving my hip to the right. So you want to make sure that your hips are moving forward, straight, and back. What you don't want to do is you don't want to go to the right. This is no good, right? So you want to make sure you're going straight. So let's try 5 of these, nice and slow. You can put your hands up like this in front of you, and let's do 5. Here we go. Ready? Each knee, sam, shi, go. Very good. So now we're going to do the second variation on this, which is a little faster. This one, we're not going all the way down and all the way up. We're just pushing our hips back and then pushing our hips forward. It's a pelvic thrust. That's what it is. So with this one, it's exactly the same thing. I'm going to lift up my hakama so you can see my legs. But now when I do this, I'm basically shifting my weight. So you can see my leg straightens back and then pushes forward, right? And then my right leg also bends in. So when my left leg straightens, my right leg bends, right? And I'm basically pushing my hips back and pushing my hips forward, right? For advanced people, think about in position to yo position. Let's do 5 nice and fast. Here we go. Each knee, sam, shi, go. Fantastic, really good. So let's start with Kamai, and please get your iaito. So we do the warm up every single class. Every single class is exactly the same. We do Kamai, Subari, Tenku no Tachi, which is Nukiuchi, which is drawing, cutting, and then doing Noto. And that's the warm-up exercises. Once we finish that, then we go into Kata. And if you're in the dojo in New York with us, or we're at a seminar, we do Kumatachi, which is partner practice as well. Every so often we'll do Tamashigiri. It takes a lot for us to kind of get the mats and everything, but we do that as well. And we also do Bogu practice, which is full contact sparring. And that also is, like, again, a little more involved. No, we don't do it that often. So again, please only use iaito. Do not use live blades for your own safety. This is a quick draw system, so we go fairly quick, and the noto is also very fast. So we want to make sure that no one gets hurt. Even though these are fake swords, they're so pointy, you still can poke yourself, but you won't be taking a trip to the hospital. And one of your life goals should not be that guy who's like, why are you in the hospital? You know, oh, I was playing with a sword in my backyard and I cut myself, you know, so don't be that guy. So with Rushin, we always wear the sword on the left side. We don't wear it in the center, we wear it to the left. And we always turn the sword over flat. So the curve is always facing up and it's always on the left side. We turn the sword down and we turn the sword out. So the sword turns flat and we draw the sword flat. We always push and break the habaki. The habaki is this little piece right here. And we always push the sword out with our thumb, breaking habaki. So my Yaito has seen better days. I'm using golf tape, which is terrible. I have to get it re-wrapped. So the sword is always flat. Again, I'm going to go over very basics. So feet together, step straight back like a railroad track, bend your left knee over your big toe. And you're going to turn the sword flat and push the habaki out. So the sword is now parallel to the floor, okay? And it's flat. So we're going to do Kamai. Kamai are basic stances. This is not an intro class, so for those on YouTube who are watching for the first time, do your best to follow along. This is for our patrons and our members who are practicing along with us right now. So let's do Kamai. I'll call it. Let's do it once fast, and then I'm going to call on someone to demonstrate. I'm going to give some tips. Ready? So this is Iai Gosh. Seiga no Kamai. I'll back up a second. Here so you can see me a little better. Geira no Kamai. Jisuri no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. Chora no Kamai. Tombo no Kamai. Maki Tombo no Kamai. Tombo no Kamai. Wakigame no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. In no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. Yo no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. Manji no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. Ochibuti. Noto. Back to Iai Gosh. So that's basic Kamai. These are stances you can attack from, stances that are baiting, and defensive stances. So some of them are more obvious than others, but let's call on someone and see how you do. I'm going to call on you and I'm going to highlight you. So let's see who's here. And I want to say hi to everybody. Let's see, gallery. Let's see who we have. Dun, da, da. All right, Dimitro, ready? Hi. So I'm going to call on Dimitri and let's see how he does. So I'll call it out, Dimitri, and let's see. Okay. So Iai Gosh. Seiga no Kamai. Geira no Kamai. Jisuri no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. Chora no Kamai. Tombo no Kamai. Maki Tombo no Kamai. Tombo no Kamai. Wakigame no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. In no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. Yo no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. Manji no Kamai. Seiga no Kamai. Ochibuti. Noto. Fantastic, Dimitri. So Dimitri, these comments are for you, but they're for comments are really for everybody. So I'm, this is the one thing I actually like about teaching on Zoom and doing online classes. When you're teaching in the dojo and I go over to somebody and I'm talking to one of the students and I'm giving them a pointer, everybody else is doing their own thing. when I'm online and I'm giving someone comments, everyone's paying attention. So everyone gets the benefit of hearing that comment, even if it doesn't apply to you. Or think about how it applies to you. So Dimitri, you did really well. Try to make sure that your feet seem a little narrow. So try to keep your feet a little more shoulder width, and you should feel a little more square. Okay, so that's the first thing I'm noticing. Second thing, Seigan look good, right? So Seigan in Muso Shinden Ryu, okay, the Kisaki, the tip of the sword is actually pointed at the eyes of your opponent. It's a little high like this. Rushin, we're a little bit lower. So the Kisaki is closer aligned to the top of the tsuba, right? So it's a little lower, okay? And make sure that your tenuche is working, that you work on your tenuche is proper, okay? So Seigan look good. Geidon, try not to bend your wrist, right? See what I'm doing? If you look at my wrist, don't bend your wrist. So just lower your arms down, preserving that tenuche, preserving that grip, okay? So that's Geidon, Jisuri, bend your knee and lean forward, okay? Tumble, Jodan look really good. Tumble, try to relax this arm and this shoulder. So see how it's up here like this? Try to relax this down, okay? So just try to have everything relaxed and soft. So the other thing is tenuche, right? So you want to make sure that your grip is proper. Don't change your grip, and everything should be relaxed. So it's okay that your elbow here, you don't want your elbow opening up like this, because what happens is you could see the gap here, right? So that this is no good, this little space here. I'm not preserving that tenuche, right? I want to make sure I keep that grip, that tenuche. So think about preserving that grip, and that will allow you realize that like you can only open your wrist so much without losing this. So you always want to keep this, okay? So this is Tumble, everything relaxed, okay? Maki Tumble, when you twist, try to keep your belly button facing forward. So what I always tell my students is you want to make sure that you're twisting the top half of your body and you're trying to keep your bottom half moving forward. So when you do Maki Tumble, okay, you're trying to keep that belly button forward. You're just twisting your top half, the top half of your body, and you're leaning in, okay? Wakigame, make sure your stance is a little wider, and you don't have to be completely sideways like this. So you can be a little more, keep your hips again forward. Just make sure that your ska is the handle, right? The tsuka is at your right hip, okay? And you can relax this hand. So one hand has preserved tenuche, the other one I can't preserve, but I can keep my hands on the weapon and just relax it, okay? In no Kamai, make sure you push the handle out to the right. So you don't want to be here. This is no good, because when I'm cutting your head, right? If I don't get your head and your hands are in the way, I'm going to hit your hands. So you want to make sure that the cutting edge of the sword is up and forward, and you're pushing it off to the right, okay? And this way, it's here, okay? If it's here, no good, right? This is no good, push out, okay? Yo no Kamai, look good. Make sure your chest is open, and Phil Sensei has a really good trick, which is pointing your fingers. So pointing your fingers means that the tenuche, the grip is proper, right? My grip is proper, right? So you don't want to keep your fingers together, but keeping it's a good way to check to see if your tenuche is right. The other thing is it should be at the height of your forehead or right above your eyebrows. You don't want it above your head like this. So lower this down a little bit, okay? Really good. And then Manji, same thing. Try to relax your elbows. So you start into yo position and then push into in position, right? So push, but no spaces underneath the arms. Okay, so let the arms come in and push, okay? But you did a good job of keeping your fingers behind the cutting edge, which is really important, okay? When you do Ochibuti, make sure you step back with your right foot. So we always, it's a good safety measure. You never want to cut to the front foot. You always want to step back so the foot is away from the cutting edge. And this is a safety thing, right? So if I'm here and I pull down, I potentially could cut my knee, and I don't want to do that. So I want to be able to pull my front foot away from the sword, okay? So just make sure you step back. If you're in a tight space, don't worry. Just all you have to do is just take a smaller step, okay? And you can pull your hips back to do no-to. You don't have to step back. Dimitri, fantastic. I hope that was helpful, and you're doing great. So really, really good. So let's go on to Subari now. We did really good. Subari, I'm going to go over very, very basics right now. So our feet, you're going to, as you can see, my sege was way too long. So I'm going to slide forward my right foot and slide up with my left. And I want to keep this position. I want to keep my feet staggered. Right foot in front of left foot. When I slide back with the left. And I'm always keeping this relationship. Okay. For advanced, now the next step is in and yo, or actually yo to in. So when I slide up, I'm going to slide into yo position. Open, yo, close, in. Slide back, yo, in. Yo, in, yo, in. So when we do this prayer exercise, this is the same thing. The only difference is you're sliding in, right? Yo, pushing forward, in. So try to concentrate on pushing the cut with your body rather than using your arms to through the cut, okay? Again, this is Rushin Shochiryu. It's a little different than other systems. We don't have Sayabiki, and we also don't throw the tip out when we cut. So Muso Shinden, Toyama, Seite, you throw the tip out in the big circle and you cut, right? Big circle. With Rushin, we are going, it's not A, B, C. Rushin is A, squeezing your chest, A, B, A, B, A, B. Okay? So just squeezing your chest and pushing that cut forward. We're going to do 20. The first one is nice and soft, breathing out with the cut. For everybody, when you do these, bring it all the way down to gate on and try to stop the cut at gate on. So try not to bounce. And what do I mean by that? This is bouncing. See how I'm bouncing? I'm just cutting, right? The sword is making me move rather than me controlling the sword. So when you cut all the way down and stop the sword. Okay, let's do 20 all together. Here we go. Seiga no kamae. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, broke. 1, 2, 3, 4, broke. 6, 8, 9, 2. Very good. So if you have any questions, please let me know. You can raise your hand. I'm more than happy to answer. So that's the first one. Nice and easy, breathing out, 20. This exercise is just meant to relax your upper body, opening your body and closing your body. Very important with Rushin, okay? Next one we're going to do is the same exact thing, The only difference is we're cutting this time, and you're going to stop at chudan middle level. And you're going to kiai. The letter A. With this one, I want you to feel your tandan, your lower abdomen, expand. Remember we talked about that at the beginning? Think of it like a balloon, right? And it's expanding. Same feeling you get when you kiai in karate or taekwondo. It's the same principle that you're expanding your lower abdomen. Okay. So with this, we're going to do 30, nice and strong, stopping the cut here in chudan, middle level. So now I'm going to talk a little bit about proper tenuch. So there are 4 tenuch, but I'm going to talk about 3. First one is Kamayate. Kamayate is just kamai, right? Simple, neutral. Kitete, push. Pushing the thumbs forward. Kitete, that's like a break, stopping. And then tomite is you're pushing using your chest and your arms to push forward and stop the cut. So kitete and tomite are almost combined. It's like a transition from kitete to tomite. Okay, so with this one, I want you to demonstrate and think about kitete, tomite. Okay, we're going to do 30 altogether, good strong kiai. The other little thing is make sure the kiai starts from back. What do I mean by that? Is bring the sword all the way behind you. See how this, you can't see the sword, right? It's all the way back here. I open my chest, close my chest, and I kiai. So don't kiai at the end of the cut. No good. You want to kiai the second you go into open position, pushing the breath from all the way back there. All right, let's do 30. Here we go. Ready? Each. Hey. Ni. Hey. Sam. Hey. She. Hey. Go. Hey. Look. Hey. Sheet. Hey. Hutch. Hey. Q. Hey. Chew. Hey. Each. Hey. Ni. Hey. Sam. Hey. Sheet. Hey. Go. Hey. Rock. Hey. Sheet. Hey. Hutch. Hey. Q. Hey. Chew. Hey. Each. Hey. Ni. Hey. Sam. Hey. Sheet. Hey. Go. Hey. Rock. Hey. Sheet. Hey. Hutch. Hey. Q. Hey. Chew. Hey. Fantastic. Really, really good, guys. So take a nice deep breath. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Very good. So these should be done vigorously. Good strong kiai. Think about your tandan expanding and think about that grip, stopping that cut where you want it to stop. Kitete, 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 tomite. Kitete, tomite. So I'm pushing almost like a break. Okay. Now we're going to do 50. The next one is we concentrate on tandan, expanding the tandan. So before we begin, put your swords away for 2 seconds. We're going to do a very, very simple tandan exercise. Tandan is the lower abdomen breathing. So when you breathe, you should feel your lower abdomen expand and contract. The key is to maintain that breath and keep that breath here. It's like a balloon, and you want to keep it. So we use a technique. It's goofy. I think it's kind of weird, but it's fun. Ya, A. And it's one continuous note. I can't sing, so I apologize. So inhale with your nose. Put your hands maybe like 2 to 3 inches below your belly button. So right on your lower abdomen. And you should feel that expansion and relax your knees. Inhale. Ya, A. Ya, A. And you should feel, as you push that breath down and out, you should feel that expansion. And you should feel it here, and you should also feel it here on the sides, okay? So for beginners, if you want to try it laying down. If you're in an apartment building, you have neighbors, or you don't want to bother anybody in your house, totally understand. Just try to breathe out and try to control the flow of the breath. So a little bit of breath comes out and then a lot of breath comes out, but you still want to keep that. The other visual I always say is a balloon. So when you're a kid, you have a balloon, and when you pull it, you hold the nozzle and you pull it tight to control the amount of air comes out, a little bit of air. And then when you let it out a lot, right? So the A is the, and the ya is a little bit of breath. So that's as best a description as I can fathom. So here we go. We're going to do 50. With this one, it's exactly the same thing. You're stopping at chudan. For advanced, if you want, you can stop at men. Totally okay as well. So with this one, the second the tip moves, the kisaki moves, we begin to breathe out. So when I'm in Seigan, I inhale with my nose. And then as I exhale, ya, inhale, ya. So the key is don't try to rush it. Try to make sure that you're breathing out the entire way you are cutting. And then you inhale again. Try not to do it like this. Ya, 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 all the way. Starting the breath, exhale here is no good. So the second you're here, inhale and begin the breath. Okay, here we go. We're going to do 50. I'm going to try to count. I always mess up the count. So again, I apologize to everybody in advance. Again, every time I mess it up. So I will do my best not to lose my count. Here we go, 50. So while you guys do it slower, I'm going to try to go at a little slower of a pace. Concentrate on your breathing, okay? Here we go. Seigan no kamai. Ich, ya, hey, ni, ya, hey, san, ya, hey, shi, ya, hey, go, ya, hey, rok, ya, hey, shi, ya, hey, hach, ya, hey, q, ya, hey, chu, ya, hey, each, ya, hey, ni, ya, hey, san, ya, hey, go, ya, hey, rok, ya, hey, shich, ya, hey, hach, ya, hey, q, ya, hey, chu, ya, hey, each, ya, hey, ni, ya, hey, san, ya, hey, shi, ya, hey, go, ya, hey, rok, ya, hey, shich, ya, hey, hach, ya, hey, q, ya, hey, chu, ya, hey, ich, ya, hey, ni, ya, hey, san, ya, hey, shi, ya, hey, go, ya, hey, rok, ya, hey, shich, ya, hey, hach, ya, hey, q, ya, hey, chu, ya, hey, ich, ya, hey, ni, ya, hey, san, ya, hey, shi, ya, hey, go, ya, hey, rok, ya, hey, shich, ya, hey, hach, ya, hey, q, ya, hey, chu, ya, hey. Fantastic. Hopefully I didn't mess up too bad. I think I messed up one. So try to do these, try to relax your body. Think about using your body making the cuts rather than your arms. So again, allow the sword to come all the way behind you, all the way. When you lean forward, opening your chest, closing your chest, and cutting. Be mindful not to change your grip. Keep your tenuche. Fantastic. So now let's do tumble cuts. So tumble, I'm going to go over quickly how to cut tumble. Tumble is means dragonfly. It's one of the signature cuts of the system. It is a difficult cut. It's a cumulative technique. So again, shoulder width apart. I'm going to pull my hakama up so you can see my feet. Stepping straight back like a railroad track and bending your left knee over your big toe. Over your big toe, and I'm up. I'm not up on my heel, but my heel is slightly up. Okay. So the first movement is opening my hip. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to lean on your left foot, put your weight on your left foot, lean forward a little bit, and turn your foot out. Let's do that 5 times. Just lean a little bit, lean, and turn your foot out. Again, lean, and turn your foot out. One more time, lean, and turn your foot out. Okay, so this is setting up my hip to open up, opening my hip. Part 2 of that is I'm going to let myself fall forward and down, forward and down. So when I lean forward, I'm going to lean forward, leaning, turning my hip open, and I'm going to let my right leg fall forward, straight line, and I'm sinking my weight. My center is sinking down, dropping down. So I'm dropping my tanden, my center, about 1.5 feet. I'm dropping all of my body weight forward and down. Okay, so let's try this 5 times. Be mindful that when you do fall forward, you don't have to fall too deep. So what do I mean by that? So you can see where my foot is here. You don't have to take a deep step. You don't want to hyperextend yourself. You also don't want to step too far out to the right. Right? This is too wide. And you also don't want to be too narrow. You want to step in a straight line. Think of railroad tracks. So when I fall, I'm falling just almost like I caught myself when I tripped. So let's try this 5 times all together. You ready? Here we go. Each leaning, leaning, leaning. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Very good. So you can see the key is to let yourself fall forward and down and try to keep your back straight. So what you don't want is you don't want to lean forward and lean down. It's okay to lean a little bit, but try to keep your back straight. Now it's part 2. Guys, remember this exercise? Pushing, like a push-up. So we're using our chest. This is yo position, pushing to in position, collapsing, right? Squeezing our chest, using our back muscles and our chest muscles. So when we're cutting first way, we're pushing in the center. Now we're cutting kesagiri, so we want to end the cut where we want to end the cut here to the left. So when I push, I'm going to breathe out. And I'm going to end here to the left. Okay, so I want everyone to just go from this position. You can put your hands here or keep your chest, but keep your back pinched, almost like you're doing a push-up. Okay, and I want you to push, breathing out to the left, and try to extend both arms. Extend your arms. Okay, one of the big mistakes is people cut and they do this, they bend the elbow. So try to extend your arms out. Here we go, we're gonna do 5. Ready? each, push to the left, knee, some, she, go. Very good. Now we're going to combine falling forward and down and pushing. Okay. The key is now you're going to also activate tenuchi, proper grip. So your tenuchi activates in Tumble no Kamai, right? It activates here to activate the sword when you want to squeeze and activate the sword to go. And then you want to activate, stop the sword here. This is kitate, tomite. Okay, here we go. Ready? So we're going to combine. This has to be done at the same time. So falling forward and down and pushing at the same time. Here we go. Ready? So iai gosh. Each. Ni. Sam. She. Last one. Go. Very good. So if you could do this, don't worry about the sword so much. The sword is a 2-foot razor blade. It's a really powerful tool. It's very sharp. Proper tenuchi will allow, proper grip will allow you to put the energy in the monuchi and the kasaki, the tip here. That's really the cutting edge. So that's where you want to put the energy. So when you cut, you should get a nice good hasuji, right? The cut is kesagiri, shoulder to hip. But don't worry about cutting here, just push here. A to B, A to B, A to B. Just pushing, just pushing direct. Okay, let's do 10 all together, and then I'm going to call on somebody. Here we go. Tumble no Kamai. Try to relax your arms, keep proper grip, and make sure your belly button is facing forward. If your belly button isn't facing, if you put your sword on your belly button and it's facing to the side, you can fix this by turning your right heel out, and your hip will push, your foot will push your hip forward. Ready? 10. Each. E. Some. She. Go. Rock. Sheech. Hutch. Cute. Shoot. So the last little thing is, when you finish the cut, you are in, tumble is yo position. This is yo, open, right? Yo, open position. When I go into pushing into in position, okay, now I'm in position, you want to go into chuyo, neutral position. So when you fall into in position, it's okay to lean a little bit. Try to relax into chuyo, neutral position. It should be a gentle transition. You don't want to look like a duck while you do this. So what do I mean by that? It should be a natural transition when you cut. It should not be a pronounced looking like a duck. So don't look like a duck, make it look natural, like a natural transition. Okay, I'm going to call on someone. We're going to do 10 more. And I'm going to watch someone do it. But you're all going to do 10. And then I'm going to give one person a comment. All right, Corey, you ready? Corey, you're in Kentucky, right?
Yes, Sensei.
Awesome. All right, ready? Here we go. So everyone please do 10 with Corey. So Corey, make sure you turn your hips forward, turn your back foot so your hips are forward. Really good. Good. And relax your right arm, relax it. So everything feels forward. Turn your hips forward. Good. Ready? Each. 2, 3、4、5、6、7、8、9、10. Good. Very good, Corey. So Corey, these comments are for you, but really, really good. So this is what I want you to work on for next week. So Corey, you're using a lot of your arms to throw the sword, right? So I want you to, instead of using your arms, try pushing with your chest, just pushing forward. Instead of throwing your arms out, try pushing. So your homework, no sword, just hands, okay? From this position, pushing. So that's going to help you a lot, just pushing. Second thing is when you land and you finish, don't bounce. I know you're on carpet or something. So when you finish, don't bounce. Just hold the position. Relax.
Okay, Sensei.
Okay. Otherwise, really good. Work on your tenuche, but you're doing fantastic. All right.
Thank you, Sensei.
So now we're going to go. We've done tumble. Let's do the next exercise is nukyuch. We're doing drawing and cutting. We do 3 versions of this. We do draw, cut, and we do noto. First one is called gyo, shin, and then so. So the first one, again, we don't use any sayabiki. So this is for everybody on YouTube. Sayabiki, when you draw, you're drawing from the center. You're pulling the saya. You can see the back of my saya here, right? Bigs. And then I pull it here, and it's a big violin motion, and I draw from the center. Rushin, the sword is over to the left, and we're using our hips to pull the sword out. So the first one, we're stepping straight back like a railroad track, okay? And I'm not doing, our sayabiki is we're just pulling our hips back. So the thing I want everyone here to concentrate on is allowing their arms to come forward, keeping their arms forward, okay? So I want everyone just to try this just very quickly. Put your hands in front of you like this, okay? This is 9 o'clock, this is 6 o'clock, this is about 7:30, right? So this should be nice and comfortable. The cut itself is not kesa. Kesa is shoulder to hip. You're gonna cut from shoulder to about under the arm here. Okay, so this should be nice and comfortable, nice and relaxed. So both hands out and just allow your arms to keep your arms stiff, but allow your chest and your back muscles to bring them forward. And you should feel a point where they naturally want to snap back. And you're looking to keep that momentum. So when you push back, you want your arm to come forward and stay stiff. Once your chest brings your arm forward, then you can bend your elbow, push your wrist across, and you go into noto. Try not to break the noto, your wrist here. This is no good. Here, right? Here, no good. You want to be able to bring your chest and your arm forward, then touch and push. It should be one continuous motion. So today, and these are complicated, so don't get frustrated. These are hard. It takes a long time to get used to doing these, okay? So today, I want you to think about and concentrate just your arm coming forward before you bend anything. Okay, let's do 10 all together. This is gyo. And again, we're stepping straight back. So when I step back, straight back like a railroad track, stepping straight line. Try not to step behind yourself. You want to keep your hips forward. All right, here we go. Let's do 10. So, iya gauche, each, ni, sam, shi, o, ro, shich, hach, kyu, ju, fantastic. So these are difficult. The key is to allow your arm to come forward, allowing your chest and your back muscles to let that arm come forward. Don't stop that momentum. Keep that momentum. The momentum will push you forward, and then you're across into noto. And the idea is that you're going to go much faster, okay? So I'm going to call on someone to do 5, and I'm going to give you some comments. All right, Constantine, good seeing you. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Good, Constantine. Really good. Okay, so these comments are for you. Fantastic. So Constantine, you're doing great. So 2 things I want you to work on, Constantine. 1, when you bring the sword back, inhale first. You have the same problem that I have, and it's called chasing. What does that mean? Is chasing is I'm stepping back before I touch. So I'm chasing the saya rather than touching and then going. So the second you touch, then you go. Sumi Nakaya sensei talked to Kawabata sensei, who gave her a great tip because I was always really bad at it, and it helped me a lot. So one of the things she told me was inhale, and Kawabata said this, Kawabata sensei, the second you touch, you inhale. So another way to practice these exercises is, again, ya, a, right? Ya, a, inhale. So the second I touch, I inhale. Ya, a. So sometimes saying it and then forcing that breath the second you touch will, for some reason, gives you that pause and you don't chase anymore. It helped me a lot, so I want you to try that, okay? That's the first thing I want you to do, Constantine. So no chasing, make sure you touch, inhale, and then you go, okay? The second thing I want you to do is, now that you have the cut down, I want you to really cut. So what you've been doing is you're pushing out, and then you're cutting forward. So now I want you to start cutting the second you push in, push. I want you to really think about in, open, really let your body open and roll those fingers and squeeze that cut. Squeeze that cut here to here, okay? So you should get a nice, strong hasuji. Think about the second, almost like flicking, right? You wanna, like when you're a kid in the bathtub or in a lake or a pool, you get your hand wet and you flick the water. You want that same feeling with the sword. So when you're drawing the sword, pushing it out, and the second you can go, push, right? You should be able to go really hard, squeeze, okay? So really good, Constantine. You're doing fantastic. Now we're going to do the second one.
I have a question about this.
Oh, of course, of course.
So
Hold on. Let me add you as a spotlight so I can see you.
yes. So I've been doing this, like cutting only when my sword is totally out of the side to use my hips, and I have no idea how then if I cut first and only then push with my hips, then I don't use my hips to cut.
Right. So this is what I'm saying is you don't have to try to play with it. Try to play with it so it's all the way out. Right. So this is what I mean by that. It's a good question. So I'm here, right? What you're saying is you're pushing all the way out and then you're cutting. What I'm saying is you don't have to go all the way out of your saya. I'm still in my saya here, right?
Yes.
So I'm pushed. Once I feel like I'm just about out, I push. So you don't have to go so deep. You don't have to pull your hips back so deep, right? Beginners, we teach very deep, right? Beginners. Right? You're pushing very deep. You are going past being a beginner now. So you don't have, so even when we do that wall hip exercise, right? It's the first one, right? Very deep versus the second one, which is just pulling your hips back, right? So try to think about that second hip exercise when you're doing your draw. You don't need to pull your hips all the way back and all the way forward when you're doing this one, okay? Pushing. Okay, try to think about just your hips moving forward and back. You don't have to go so deep, okay?
Yeah,
Think about that flicking the water or flicking the tip out of the saya, okay? Make sense? Fantastic.
Yes, totally. Thank you.
So now we're going to do the second one, which is shin. So shin is we're not stepping back. So first one we do, right? We step back like a straight railroad track and our hips are pulling back. The second one we're doing is we're not stepping back. We're just pulling our hips back and we're pushing our hips forward. That's it. The only reason why we do one versus the other is space. So if I have a lot of room behind me, I have plenty of room to step back, no problem. If I'm in a tight space where I don't have room to step back, I can just pull my hips back. So that's the rationale between the two. You can use one or the other. Kata we end up stepping back most of the time as a formality. But when you're doing technique or whatever, pull your hip back just as good. So let's do 10 with this one. The other difference on this one is instead of letting the cut come all the way down and all the way forward, I want you to stop the cut here with proper grip, proper tendage. So everyone can snap. Please snap your fingers. And you're going to snap your fingers here. This is where I want you to stop the cut. So try this 5 times with me. We'll just do snaps, okay? No sword. Snapping and then letting your arm come forward still. So you still want to keep that arm coming forward, that chest and your back muscles pushing forward. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Oh. Very good. So you should feel that squeeze and your arm and your chest pushing forward. Let's try 10 all together. This is shin, okay? For more advanced people, as you get better at this, you'll be able to control where you want to stop that cut. So we start everybody here, but then you can go here, 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 right? You can start moving the dial in and thinking about where you want to, wherever you want to stop that cut, you decide where you want to stop it. And you're using your chest to stop, not your wrist, okay? Okay, let's do 10 altogether, stopping here, okay? And try to keep proper tenuche. So try not to let the sword do this, which is chicken neck, okay? Try to keep proper grip, okay? Here we go, 10 altogether, shin. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Ho. Ro. Shich. Hutch. Chew. Chew. So these take practice. I'm still working on this. I've been doing it a long time. It's the more you do it, the better you get at it, like anything else. All right, I'm going to call on someone. I want you to do 5. Let's see how you do. Let's see, who have I not called on so far? Daniel in Mexico. I need a little bit of heat. I need a little bit of sunshine in my life. It's been so cloudy and gray here in Brooklyn. It's snowing.
It is also very
Fantastic.
chilling here.
Oh my God, like 70, right? Yeah,
Like 70.
terrible, terrible. Okay, everyone please do 5 with Daniel, but I'm going to be watching Daniel. This is shin. Ready? Each. Ni. Sam. Shi. Go. Good, Daniel. Okay, so Daniel, these comments are for you. Really, really good. And I appreciate the palm trees as well. So, Daniel, for you, the first thing I want you to do is don't grab the side. Don't grab the ska. So if you grab and you pull, this, again, the saya, when these are real swords, the saya is lacquered wood, and you can see it's like, it's like a thin piece of lacquered wood, right? So it's not going to take a lot to cut through the saya into your hand if you pull really hard. So try to push the sword, right? Pushing with these 2 fingers, pushing forward. So rather than doing it hard and fast, I would rather you do it slow and smooth, okay? So pushing forward, rolling your fingers, cutting, and allowing your arm to come forward. Once the arm comes forward, then you touch and you push across your body. So for you, Daniel, what I want, your homework is this: pushing, no sword, pushing, snapping, letting your arm come forward and pushing across your body. You want to push to the left side of your body, okay? Push right across. Don't stop, right? The best analogy I can think of is cleaning a table, right? Wiping the table down at a restaurant or something. So when you bring your arm forward, you have to transition from tenuche, from proper grip, to flat hand again. So you have to, it's like a little circle that you're making. and you're pushing across your body. So you want to push to the left side. Think of the saya, the sheath, as a tube. The sword is a straight line. So I want to make sure that that the sword is lined up properly with the tube, okay? If I come here and I start the push here, this is not lined up, right? This won't go in straight. I have to readjust. So for you, Daniel, bring the sword in front of your left side. And everyone can try this if they want to. Squeezing, proper grip. Open your hand and push to the left. Squeezing, proper grip, letting my arm and my chest come forward, opening my hand, circle, and pushing to the left. Push to the left. So ideally, this is considered one continuous motion. We're not stopping, okay? So 2 things, Daniel. Pushing, rolling, touch, and pushing across to the left, right? Fantastic. So really good, Daniel. And again, thank you for the palm trees.
Gracias. De nada.
So the next thing we're going to do is So. So is the closest that we have to Zen meditation. It's 1 speed, slow. That is it. Okay. And we do what we call Ochibuti. So you bring the sword over your head and then you're stepping back away with your right foot. And then everything else, the no toe is exactly is the same as we just did. So with this one, the thing I want you to work on is, well, actually 2 things. One is this transition. So turning your arm over, your hand over and continuing, right? Turning your hand over and continuing. That's it. Let's just try that 3 times all together. Put your hand in front of you, each, turn, good, over. Knee, san. Really good. So that transition, as simple as it is very important for other kata and other techniques that we have. And you will find that you are doing them always, right? It's always that continuous motion. So think of Rushin like cursive writing, script. It doesn't stop. It's always flowing. Okay, so the next little thing I want you to be mindful of is concept called Fudoshin, or relaxed mind. Okay, so everyone is stressed out, the world is stressed out. So for a couple of seconds, I want you to think about that moment in time, that place for you that calms you down. Try to have restful mind, allow your mind to relax. So inhale, exhale, makso. Good. Allow your mind to relax. So this is 1 speed. Let's try. We'll do 3. I'm doing folding 5 fingers up, but let's do 3 all together. Please follow my speed slow. Okay. So we begin in Iai Gosh. Each. Knee. Fantastic. So that is our warm-up exercise. We do these every single class. Doesn't matter what level you are or how long you've been training. If you go to Tokyo with Yahage Sensei, they will do exactly the same thing. They might do it. Actually, their classes are usually 3 to 4 hours long, so they do a lot of stretching as well in the beginning. We kind of expedite it a little bit just to kind of preserve time. I hope I'm doing a little bit better on time today, David. I'm being mindful about that. So we made it a little more abbreviated. So it is Nidan month. We have been practicing Nidan Kata. Before we do that, I wanted to review a little bit what Yahage Sensei was teaching over on the weekend. Again, if you can train with us online, please do so. If you can attend Yahage Sensei's classes, I strongly recommend them. Again, I'm okay. Sensei is amazing. And we now have access to him online once a month for an hour and a half. So that's a big deal compared to, and he goes into a lot of detail on techniques. And he spends his time usually in 1 or 2 techniques. So it's a big deal. So this week he went over a little bit. He started talking about Inazuma, which is a very difficult kata. It's probably one of the most difficult kata in Rushin, in our system. And it's part of our Showdown set. It's one of the beginning sets. And the reason it's there is it's like throwing you into the deep end of the pool, right? This technique is difficult. And so we're going to work on just the Showdown kata first, a little bit on Inazuma first today, and then we're going to go on, and I might do Oyuch, which is another version of that. I have my new kata cheat sheet. So if you're on Patreon, I did send this to you. It's good to kind of print it out, and I use it. I take packing tape, fold it in half, and use packing tape. This is, I have to make it a little bit bigger. My eyes are going, so I need my glasses to read this one. So we'll probably do, maybe we'll do Ruby, Oyuch, and Shiraito today, which are all fun kata. But today we're going to start with Inazuma, which is a Shodan kata. Okay, Inazuma is the same technique as what we just did. It's exactly this technique. It's the same thing. The only difference is instead of it being here, coming down, you are doing it here, up. Only difference. Okay, so I'll demonstrate it maybe once or twice. This is the Shodan kata, and then I'm going to break down what I did. Then we're going to do it all together a couple times, and then I'm going to call on some people. So this is Inazuma Showdown. So what am I doing? So the first thing is, what is the bunkai? What's the scenario? Kata are imaginary opponents. So these are swords. We normally don't practice, as you can tell if people are watching on YouTube, we don't practice with opponents a lot of times because it's too dangerous. It's a sword. So it's a solo practice. So we are having to project or imagine what our opponents are doing. But these are coordinated or predetermined scenarios that teach us techniques. Okay, so with this technique, the person who is attacking me is cutting me from above, Kiryosh. and I am catching them. First cut, I'm cutting Cote. I'm cutting the wrist, and then I'm cutting Kesagiri. So the first cut is I'm cutting the wrist in front of me, blocking, and then I'm transitioning from yo, relax, and then I'm squeezing from in position, yo position, catching the sword, and cutting Kesagiri back to in position, okay? So that's what makes this difficult, is that flexing of the body into those yo, so we're drawing in, yo, relax, in, yo, in, yo, and then everything else is chuyo, which is neutral, okay? So let's try it all together a couple of times. The one thing I want you to be mindful of is the first cut. The first cut, there's a stop after the first cut, not right after it. So a big mistake that people make is they cut Gyaku Kesa and they bend their wrist. Do not bend your wrist. Try to keep your wrist, that proper tenuche, try to keep your arm stiff. So try to keep that wrist stiff. 1 and 2. And you want the motion to come back here. Cut, cut, and bring the sword back. Cut and bring the sword back. But I'm not bringing the sword back. I'm keeping my arm stiff. I'm keeping that grip. So try to make that stop here, not here. Not here and then back. Here. Cut and stop. Cut and stop. And then a loop. So let's try it all together. Let's do it 3 times all together. Then I'm going to call on somebody. Okay? This is Inazuma Showdown. For beginners who haven't done it, I'm going to go nice and slow. Follow my speed. Okay? Here we go. So we begin. Iaigosh. Ajin. Push in, step forward and up, yo, stop, in, make a loop, yo, in. From here, you're going to make a big half circle on the floor, push up on the up to the ceiling, up to the right on your toes, and then come back into Tumble no Kamai. So this is Zashin from here, right? So everything from here is nice and slow. Then Wakigame, Seiza no Kamai, and then Ochibuti and Noto. And then for us, we wipe twice, right? Once and twice. Once on top and once on the bottom. Other systems, they stop here. Okay, so let's try it again. Inazuma Showdown. Haj. One more time. Inazuma Showdown. Haj. Good. So there's a lot of things that are going on. This is a very difficult kata. Before I call on someone, I just want us all to do something all together, very, very quick. No sword, just your hands. So pushing into in, Yo, relax. Yo, relax. Squeezing and relax. Yo, and relax. Try to let your chest expand and contract. So notice that the cut is coming here. I want to keep my block eventually in front of me. So I want this arm to come back, okay? I'm not bending my wrist, right? It's not this. I'm not using my wrist, right? I'm keeping my arm stiff and I'm making that stop with my chest. From here, this is called, we need to create what's called ikioi, energy. So from here, this is yo, relax, and we need to go to in and yo really quickly. So both sides of your chest, you're going to squeeze really hard, in and open, in and open, in and open, in and open, in and open. This is called the no character, or the loop that Yahage Sensei talks about all the time. So from here, you're making a loop, right? You're making a loop. A loop is around the face of your opponent. Okay? So you want to make that loop, but you have to squeeze to do it. And it has to be fast. It has to be energy. So you have to and push, okay? So the last little thing is, once you make that loop and you're forward, then you're going to catch the cut, and you're catching the tumble cut in midair. What do I mean by that? So I'm here, I do the loop. Now the sword is in position to cut kesa. I'm catching it with my left hand and I'm falling forward with it. Tumble, kesagiri, right? So I'm cutting kesagiri. The difference is when we cut tumble before, we're cutting tumble from back here, right? This is tumble, right? Now we're cutting tumble from here. So try that for just try it twice. Just put your sword in front of you, allow your chest to open, okay? Make sure you have proper grip, okay? Catch the sword with your left hand in midair and pull down into tumble. Try that. Let's try it 3 times altogether. Ready? Catch. 1, knee, some. Very good. So that should be the feeling that you get at the end of that motion, is that you're catching it in midair. You're catching the cut in midair and you're cutting kesagiri. Okay, so let's call on someone and let's see. All right, Anastasia. You're going to make all the old people look bad. You ready? So everyone please do it with Anastasia, but I'm watching Anastasia. Ready? Ajani. Very good. One more time, Anastasia. One more time. Ready? Ajani. Fantastic. Really good, Anastasia. Okay, Anastasia, this is for you. These are your comments for today and your Budo homework, which is not real homework, but this is the fun, right? So for you, the first thing I want you to work on, no sword, don't worry about the sword, just your arms, okay? I want you to cut and allow your arm to come back. So
Перше попрацюй руками, без меча. Ріжеш і дозволяєш руці вернутися назад.
thank you, Bogdan. So let your arm stay stiff and let it come back.
Рука при цьому не гнеться, просто дозволяєш їй вернутися назад.
Once it stops,
Як тільки вона зупинилась,
then squeeze really
Потім-
fast and hard.
починаємо зжиматися.
So no stopping here and then cutting. Always, it's one continuous motion. This is one motion.
Це все один нерозривний рух, постійний рух.
Okay?
Okay.
Fantastic. Don't worry, I'll be calling her sensei in like, give it 6 months. Okay, let's try it all together one more time. This is Inazuma Showdown, okay? So make sure you stop the cut after you make the first cut. The first cut is Cote. So pushing, when we push, we want to push forward and up, and we're pushing our hips back, right? I push forward 1 and 2, cutting. You have to let your chest open and close. Notice where the tip of the sword is. It's actually in front of me because this is considered almost like it's a block, basically. When I cut the wrist of somebody, the potential of the sword falling forward still, remember the momentum of the sword is cutting down, right? Is still falling forward potentially. So I want to cut the wrist and make sure that my center line is protected. If the sword does fall, it falls along the edge here. Then I cut Kata, okay? Here we go. Let's do let's do it 3 times all together. Good, strong, Inazuma, good, strong cuts, okay? Here we go. You ready? Maybe I'll call one more person. Haji. Again, ready? Haji. Last one. Ready? Haji. Fantastic. So be mindful, allow your chest to close. Keep that tendage, keep that grip. All right. Bogdan, you were doing such a great job on translating. I want to see how you do. So this is Inazuma Showdown. Ready? Better, now I can see. Don't hit your lamp. Ready? Hajime. Oh, you gotta get it. I gotta buy you a wakizashi. Just do arms. Just arms, no sword, okay? You sure? Good, Bogdan. So Bogdan, for you, you have to get a wakizashi. They're like $20. It'll be, trust me, you know, you'll be much happier without destroying your furniture. And
But hey, you never know when you're going to get attacked from the ceiling. So
yeah, sure,
well done.
Bogdan, for you, the thing I want you to work on is after this cut, don't just turn the sword, don't turn your elbow out to the side here. Right? And then cut. You have to allow your body, allow your arms both in, yo, in. You have to set up yo position, okay? So you have to push in. So I want you to practice, Bogdan, only hands, no sword, okay? That's it. So if you think about Inazuma, I want you also to think about it as a three-dimensional space. We're not making the loop here, but I'm moving forward in the space. So when I'm doing this, I'm moving forward and cutting like a spiral in space. It's moving forward. Okay? So think about the spiral moving forward in space. Okay? Really good, Bogdan. If anyone has any more questions, I'm more than happy to answer, but we're going to move on to a different kata now. Okay? Good? Okay, so that's Showdown Inazuma. Yahage sensei reviewed it. Be mindful, make sure the stop is after the cut, so cutting and then stopping, not cutting and then stopping up here and then coming back again. You have to make sure that your chest is collapsing. I practice this kata all the time. And the way I practice it personally, because I also have lamps and ceilings and ceiling fans, I don't even use a sword. You don't even have to be dressed up in a gi. Sometimes I just use my arms and my hands. And if I'm going to use my hands, you can just keep your hand almost like a knife hand and think of the edge of your hand as the edge of the sword. And think about that edge, okay? But think about your chest moving into yo, relax, in, yo, in, okay? So think about that expanding and that contracting, okay? That's what makes this one of the more difficult kata in all the whole system, okay? And we have a lot of different kata. And I'm gonna show people my little cheat sheet. Boom, right? That's a lot of kata. So, and that's not even considering the Kumatachi that we have as well. So it's a lot. And at least that's what we know of. I mean, Yahage sensei still has other ones. So the next kata we're going to do today is where we left off last week in the classroom, but I wanted to teach to you guys, which is called Ruby. Ruby is called Dragon's Tail. And the bunkai, the scenario is someone is coming from behind me, and they're coming from behind me to cut. And I'm basically stepping off the line and I'm cutting them and then doing Mawari, which is spinning. So if you don't have a lot of space, be mindful, try to you don't have, just try to do it with your hands rather than your swords so you don't knock anything over. And again, if you're in a tight space, I strongly suggest you buy a wakizashi. They are the short swords. They're about 18 inches long. You can get wooden ones for about maybe $40. I think Tazando has them and Ibogu has them. You know, that's what I keep under my bed. They're great. And they're really designed for indoor use. So in samurai times, feudal Edo period times, you were not allowed to bring full katana or swords into a house or a place of business. So you would check this at the door, and then you were able, as samurai, you were allowed to carry a tanto, which is a short dagger, or a wakizashi, which is the short sword. And those were designed for inside spaces. And I've had a debate with Yahage sensei that even though this system, we use a shorter and lighter sword, we have a lot of one-handed techniques. And I believe that this system was designed actually for wakizashi, not for katana, me personally. And I could talk more about that some other time if you want to. Okay, so I'm going to demonstrate Ruby a couple of times, and then I'm going to break down how I'm doing it, okay? And I'll do it, I think I'll do it this way. I'll do it this way first. So what am I doing? I'm walking and there's someone coming from directly behind me. The first thing I'm going to show you are the feet. So the feet are very important. We do mawari, which is spinning away. Okay, so the first thing I'm doing is I'm walking left, right, left, and when the second I get the sense that this person is behind me, I step off the line and out to the left. And I look behind me and I see the person, right? So from here, I look behind me, my feet come together, and then I'm going to sweep my left foot in a big circle all the way around, facing forward again. So I want to be facing forward, but I'm off that line, okay? So again, left, right, left, stepping off the line. Feet together, and then sweeping my foot around. Okay, so let's just try just the feet a couple of times. Let's do it like 3 times altogether. Okay, so ready? Left, right, left, step off the line and look behind you. Feet together, and then sweeping the foot all the way around. Actually, I should go a little further. One more time. Left, right, left, right, left. Okay, so that's the feet. Now we're going to talk about the draw. What's going on? As I'm walking, okay, once I step off the line, I touch the sword, I turn the sword over flat. I step off the line and the sword, I pull the sword, the draw is up. This is yo position. I'm going to draw into yo position, open position. So I look behind me, and as I look behind me, I step and I'm pushing the sword forward and out. So now the sword is in proper position. And when I slide around, I'm sinking my weight and I'm cutting at the same time. And then no talk. I know it's difficult to explain this over the internet this way. So I'm going to try doing it. This way. Maybe you can see it a little better. Left, right. I turn and I look and I push up. I push forward and out. So now my sword is facing in this direction. And when I cut kasagiri, I'm going to spin and sweep my back foot, my left foot, as I make the cut. Okay, one more time. And I'm going to pull my hakama up actually fully, just so you can see my feet a little, hopefully a little better. I know it's like a black floor, but my feet are I'm very pale. So I guess that's a good thing, right? least in this situation. So left, right, left, I'll move up a little bit, left. And once I step, I push up and forward and out. Once I finish, the cut is coming around with my body. Once I make the cut, I keep proper grip and I'm sinking my tendon, sinking my weight with the cut. That sort of turns over and I touch. From here, I go into in position. So right now, in, I sink my weight and I push both shoulders in position. And then I turn now I'm in horse stance. I'm going to turn my foot forward, my hip forward, and the sword turns up. The curve is up. And then slowly I bring my feet together. Once and twice. And then I step back into Iai Bush. Okay? This is not an easy technique. These are Nidan Kata, so this is a little more difficult. So let's try it a couple of times all together. For very beginners, go nice and slow. I'm going to go super, super slow so you can follow my timing, okay? And I'll do it different directions. So let's do it 3 times all together. This is called Ryubi. Ready? Ajin. Left, right, left, right, left. Pushing the forward out and cutting. Yoto. Turn my hip. Good. Again. Aj. Left, right, left, right, left. Feet together, sink my weight and cut. Good. Again, here we go. This time I'm going to do it from this way, completely different direction. Ready? Haj. Okay, one more time. And then I'm going to call on somebody. I'll do it this way. Ready? Haj. Fantastic. So this is called Ruby Dragon's Tail. And the reason is that you're whipping your body, you're whipping the sword around with your body. When I turn, it's one continuous motion. There is no stopping. So as I'm breaking this down to you, I'm saying stop, make sure your proper grip, and then you're squeezing. But when you're doing this in kata, it should be one continuous flow. There is no stopping. Okay, let's see how you do. If you don't have a lot of space or you don't want to try it, just tell me no and I'll call on somebody else. All right, Mario, you want to try?
I'm ready, teacher. I'm ready, sensei.
Okay. Just don't hit it. Just don't knock into your furniture. Ready? Oh, I think you froze. Oh, okay, you ready? I don't know. Hold on a second. I don't know where it happened to Mario. He dropped out completely. Is he here still? Mario, you shut your camera off completely. There you go. Okay. You ready? Don't worry about sound so much. I just want to see you. So everyone please do it with Mario, but I'm watching Mario. Ready? Ajime. Beautiful, Mario. One more time. One more time. Ready? Hajime. Really good, Mario. Fantastic. So Mario, these comments are for you. This is what I want you to work on with this kata. Okay. So really, really good. So the thing I'm noticing is that it's the draw. The draw has to be simultaneous. So the second that you step out, you push. Don't stop. So from here, it should be one continuous motion. Okay, that's the first thing. So when you step, okay, pushing. The other thing is your pivot. You want to make sure that you don't pivot too far. And you have the same problem that I used to have, which is, and I still do it sometimes, whereas when I pivot and my feet are together, I pivot too far around and I end up here, right? I want to end up here. You want to end up with your right foot forward and your left foot almost like a right angle, right here. So when you do this, your feet are, you don't want to be here, you want to be here, right? You know, I'll walk over here so I can spin a little bit more into the center. Right here, you want to be a little more square, right angle, right? You don't want your back foot to be back here. This is no good. So you want to be a little, don't spin as far, but that just takes practice. So you're doing great.
Thank you. Thank you.
Really, really good, Mara. This is the first time you're doing this, right?
Thank you. Yes. Yes.
Fantastic. You're doing great. These are difficult kata. So this is for everybody. Think about it. And this is just through all of the system, all of Rushin Shochi Ryu. The system is based on fluidity and not stopping. So everything is one fluid motion. So there really is no stopping in these kata. So when you're doing it, it should be one continuous motion, just one continuous motion. And think about how that applies to all the kata that you're going to do from now on all of them. Okay, so that's the first kata the first Nidan kata I'm showing you today. We have a little bit of time. The second one I want to show you before we go, we're going to do a little, I like to do this, even though we can't do Kumatachi, I like to show you how to do this online, at least getting you used to doing the movements. So when you do get in front of somebody or you have a partner, you can try this. So we call this Iharuch, and this is the first Iharuch. So with this one, I want everyone just to, you're going to use me as your opponent. And this is blocking and cutting. Okay. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to go into horse stance. Okay. And you're going to relax your knees and just center your body. Good. Everyone with me? So horse stance. And now everyone is going to lean to the left and you're going to lean to the right. Left, right, left, right, left, right. Sorry, left, right, left, right. Very good. So now we're going to use our swords, okay? And this is blocking and cutting. So we use 3 targets and we rotate them. So the first block is Cote, which is wrist. Then we have men, and then we have do, which is side. Okay, so Cote, men, and do. Blocking Cote, when you block Cote, you're going to lean to the left and you're going to turn the cutting edge up. So keeping proper grip, turning the cutting edge, don't leave your elbow up, but try to relax your shoulder, keeping that grip, turning the sword up, Cote. Okay, so leaning, Cote. Let the sword come around your head, all the way around, shifting your weight, cutting the wrist, Cote. So let's try Cote, 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 Cote. The reason why we shift our weight with the block is we're taking some of that energy of that cut away from the cut. We're taking it away with our body. We're absorbing some of that energy, absorbing the energy and pushing the energy right back at our opponent. Aikido also does this. Aikido is based on circles, right? Tai Chi, same thing. The idea that someone is pushing, instead of pushing back, let them win and using their or redirecting their energy away. Okay, so Cote, 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 Cote. Now we're going to go to men. Men is head. So when we're going to shift our weight down, so shifting our weight down, and we're going to push our weight up and off the line, up and to the left, down and to the left, down and to the left, down and pushing up, blocking Cote. So I want to make sure that when I block Cote, I'm over my head. You don't want to block Cote here because I'm cutting Kiryo straight. So if I'm cutting straight, okay, and you put your hands here, I'm cracking you in your fingers, or I'm cracking your head open, which is no good. So you want to make sure you're pushing your weight off. Your head is not going up straight, but you're pushing your head off to the left and you're pushing up above you. So when you catch the cut here, the sword comes around and you cut men. Sink your weight, push up, men, 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 men. Very good. Now we're going to block Do. You're going to shift your weight again to the left, turning the sword, cutting edge, facing out, and you're going to put the back of the mune of the sword right in the crook of your elbow. Okay? You don't want to have any space, so it should be snug in there. Your forearm is going to be right in front of your forehead. Okay? And you're going to shift your weight to the left. This is Do. I'm blocking the side here, cutting edge out. Do. Do. Bring the sword around, cutting. Do. 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 Very good. Very Homer Simpson, do, 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 right? So now we're going to combine Cote, Cote, men, men, do, do. If you're doing this with a partner, okay, the idea is that you guys are going back and forth and you're shifting your weight with each other. And the idea is you start slow and you build up speed faster and faster and faster, okay? If you're doing it with a partner and you're using Boken, make sure that if you mess up, right, and one person messes up, just step off the line into Wakigame. Just step away and off the line. That says to your partner, enough, I can't go, or I don't feel comfortable, okay? So let's do it all together. Ready? And I want you to say it with me because it helps keep track of what you're doing. Here we go. Ready? Cote, Cote, men, men, do, do, 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 Cote, Cote, men, men, do, do. You're too fast for me. So that is called Iharuch. And there are lots of different variations on that. So that's the first one. Another variation is Cote, men, do. Cote, men, do. And you alter that way, which is harder to keep track of. The other one is Mawari, where we're basically Cote, Cote, men, men, do, do, Cote, Cote, and we're going in a circle, right? Around and around. And then Zengo is back and forth. So those are the more advanced ones. Again, hard to do it online, all by myself in a space like this. But you can practice these on your own, practice those blocks and those cuts. And if you're in a class with somebody, especially if you're doing Aikido, you can show your friends how to do it. And it's a lot of fun. You can build up speed faster and faster and faster. Okay. So it is 5:30. That is it for us today. Thank you for coming. Just a quick reminder that if you are training with us online, we do offer, oh my God, can I get, hold on a second, can I? All right, go. Oh, trying to get this thing without knocking my computer. Okay, sorry. I have brought in, so sorry about that. So Phil Sensei teaches Kyudo, and he's been doing it for 38 years. We are helping him under NYBA offer those classes to our students. So if you're training with us online on Patreon and you want to do it, we do have another option. You can sign up with us and we can teach you Kyudo. Kyudo is Japanese archery. They use yumi, which are a big bow. They're about 7 feet tall. You don't need that. All you need is this thing, which is basically like a rubber band. Okay, they cost about 20 bucks. And you can buy a dowel. And the idea is that you can use this inside and not destroy your house. And it's a lot cheaper than a Yumi. So if you're interested, just send us a message and we can help you get started on that as well. It's a lot of fun. It's super meditative, much more Zen than EI is. The whole thing is Zen practice. So anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the class. And like I said, if you have any questions, feel free to email us. If you're watching this on YouTube, it's the first time you're checking us out, and you can see us online, patreon.com/NYBA, and you can sign up. And we do have regional deals. So depending on where you are, just tell us what country you're coming from, and we'll try to work with you. All right. And this is, again, for everybody as well. Let's ray out.
Jomini, right? Sensei, right? Otegai, right? Arigato gozaimashita.
Before we bow up to the sword, there's a lot of bad things that are happening in the world today. We have a lot of our students here from Ukraine. I'm so worried about everybody there. So I would like to take a moment just to have a moment of silence and peace, and understand that everyone here is very concerned about your welfare, and we are with you. So please, let's have a little bit of meditation. Makso. Let's think about peace. Thank you.
Toe, knee, right?
You guys.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, Sensei.
Thank you, Sensei.
Sensei.
Thank you, guys. I hope everyone enjoyed the class. And I'll unspotlight myself so we can see everybody. Let's see. So thank you again, everybody. It's so great to see everybody. And please take care, especially everybody in Ukraine. Again, we're all on pins and needles here. So we really hope everything works out. And it just, everyone goes home and there's no terrible things that are happening. But we are with you, and our thoughts are with you. So I know I haven't seen Oleg. Please give my love to Oleg and to Yuri and everybody, and make sure everyone is okay. And give your mom a hug tonight, your dad. They deserve it. Okay. So great to see everyone. We'll see you next week. Again, Phil Sensei will be on Monday. Teaching in the dojo. It's President's Day here, a holiday, but I think we're going to be having class as well. So we stream that. Phil Sensei will be doing Tuesdays, Wednesdays. I'll do in the studio in the dojo streaming as well. And then Thursday, we're doing Kyudo. So if you are interested in Kyudo, let us know. Especially Ukraine or Mexico, we have a special deal with you guys, so we'll figure out something where you guys can come and train it. But it's a lot of fun. I'm really excited to learn how to do Kyudo. I've been wanting to do it for many, many years, and it's an opportunity. So I'm gonna grab it. I'm really excited.
And all you need is a long rubber band. You don't even need the stick. I mean, just a rubber band,
Yeah,
like one of those surgical or anything like that.
Yeah, they're the TheraBands, right? Like the resistant bands.
Yeah. The better ones are the tubes. I don't know if you guys can get just the tubes. If you
we can send you the link for this. So this is from Japan. It was $20 online, and I think shipping was $20.
But if you can find the tube without the stick and just tie the ends together.
Need the tube, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, I would like the link for that.
Okay, absolutely. So just do me a favor, send me a message on Patreon, and I'll send it out to you. Okay.
All right, thank you, Sensei.
Yeah.
It's
So
a lot of fun. Thanks, everybody. Jodo on Fridays too, by the way. So.
and Jodo, of course, Jodo at 12 on Fridays, and then we'll be back here on Sundays doing this class. So again, thank you guys. Hope everyone's well and be safe.
Thank you, Sensei.